Can we get the inflatable sumo outfits? Maybe like we need to do like a field day this summer. I feel like we've talked about this in the past, like doing like a spouse
live show.
The geekies.
We gotta get to episode 10 so we can start our Patreon.
We're so close.
Okay, so they can buy us equipment.
So I want to talk to you guys about.
Starts with sumo suits.
I guess, Eric, as long as they don't ask you to change the towel,
Ooh.
You know, the diaper or whatever it is they're wearing.
Tim can change the towel dressed up as Elf.
Can you mute Tim? Just mute Tim for us, please.
Sorry, Tim, you're on talk restriction for the rest of the episode. Welcome to the Geeky A Go-Go Podcast, a weekly podcast where we talk about news, movies, TV shows, comic books, cosplay. If it has something to do with what's going on in the world of pop culture, we'll talk about it here. My name is Anthony Pizzuto. Let's get this party started. Joining me today in the Go-Go. To this guy, every week the show sounds better to him, but every week his hearing gets worse. Mr. Eric Ho. He's no bow tie bear, but always asks, "What you walkin'?" Please give it up for Nitro Chris. And this guy's jokes aren't half bad. They're all bad. Mr. Tim Boylan. All right. Clearly there was a theme in this week's intro. Well done again, Timothy. You constantly are a source of inspiration and surprise. Eric, you bailed on us on lunch this week, so you really left Chris and I to our own devices to have to deal with Toots on our own. What's going on? Your day job is more important than us? What's going on? What happened?
What was I doing? Yeah, it was first week back, I think. So things were kind of crazy. Other than that, I will say, I just came back from a curling match. And
Eric,
a lot of fun. So
Eric the Curl Ho.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get uniforms. I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot of fun.
Are you gonna get like a jersey with like your name on it? Like, how does this work?
I'm not competing. These are just. It's like intramural dodgeball. It is nothing exciting.
Do you have to like borrow someone's? Is it a broom? Is that what it's called, or the curling stick? What is it? What's the thing called?
Eventually, I will up level myself to have my own broom. Right now, I'm using the club's brooms.
Okay.
My wife just got shoes, and I will be getting shoes soon.
Wait, curling shoes or just shoes for the heck of it?
They have curling shoes.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, it's grippy on one shoe, and it's slippery on the other shoe, so you can slide around on the ice.
Wait.
Yeah, so that's coming.
Hold on, you're doing this. Hold on, Jesse's doing this too.
Yeah, she got suckered into it.
I think I missed the memo that this was a family affair. Good for you guys.
Yes, so now it's we're in a league that happens every Sunday morning.
Oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. All right, Toots, Nitro, we're gonna crash his practice or rehearsal or whatever you call it in curling, and we're gonna just kind of we'll be like what are the guys in the Muppets, the judges up in the balcony we're just gonna be like that and talking smack about Jesse and Eric. I love it.
Just heckle them the whole time.
Toot, heckle them the whole time. So Toots, master of the intros. What's happening? How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you? Good to see you guys.
I'm awesome. Yeah. How was your week? What'd you do?
Oh, it was great. I enjoyed lunch with you guys on Friday, minus Eric. But it was less enjoyable because Eric wasn't there. So
minorly less enjoyable.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a word. Minorly.
Sure. Yeah, it is now.
That works. And Nitro, what's going on in the world of Nitro? Your construction project looks practically complete. Is it complete? Is it done?
100% finished. I just have to rearrange Legos and things like that done. So, but all the dust, it's been mopped. Everything's clean and ready to go. This week we were preparing for Snowpocalypse 2024 here in New Jersey. It was the first snowstorm that was coming. Everyone got the milk and the eggs and all that stuff and the bread, and it didn't turn out to be much of a storm, as usual. But we had to scramble and pack away all the Christmas decorations outside because we didn't want it to be soggy and buried under the snow for a couple of days. So there is no more winter wonderland outside the Nitro household.
Aw.
Sad.
Aw. Do you have the radio station still going at least, or that's gone too?
No, that's off.
Wow.
Funnily enough, and this partakes with my geeky electronics side. The radio disrupts my keyboard.
Interesting.
When I run the radio, the keyboard locks up, and it's a pretty higher end keyboard, and I'm a little upset about that because I dropped some money on it. And I'm not going to drop the name of the brand, but it's one of those keyboards that's backlit and has rainbow colors and all that stuff too. And so I'll be writing an email to the company. Just say, hey, if you didn't know, FM frequencies mess with your contraptions.
That's why pros use wired keyboards.
It is a wired keyboard.
Ooh.
What?
That's weird. Mm-hmm. So what happens? Like
It just locks up.
Just locks up.
Keys don't work.
Interesting. And how did you diagnose it to Radio Nitro 101?
So I thought it was because I have my computer running 24/7 during that season. So I thought it was just like overuse, whatever, needed to give it a refresh. Mm-hmm. But then one day I just turned off the radio because I needed to use my speakers for something, and the keyboard started working again.
Ooh.
And I was like, So then I boiled it down to when I turn off the radio, the keyboard works.
All right.
Wouldn't it just be a USB thing because you're broadcasting from your computer, right?
Yeah, I mean it could be messing with the microcontroller and the USB port too.
Yeah.
But the mouse is from the same brand company, and there's no issues there.
Interesting. Well, I'm curious if they get back to you after reading your strongly worded email. I was a little disappointed in Snowpocalypse as well. Although it was what did we ended up getting? Like down here in Plainfield, I think we got like 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. I mean, it was enough.
Just about.
Yeah, we were able to make a snow person yesterday. By this afternoon, that snow person became a snow mound of snow and pine cones and sticks, which was the children were devastated. But we did light the fireplace for the first time this winter as well yesterday, which was nice and cozy. So that was fun. And yeah, it's been a wild week. Yeah, I'm with you. It was the first week back, Eric. It's been bananas, and we were only open. When did we go back to work? Monday was the January 1st, right? Yeah. So it was only a 4-day work week, but it felt like a month. It crammed into those 4 days. It literally from like 7:30 in the morning till like 7:30 at night. And then after the kids go to bed a little bit more, it was just nonstop bananas. But I'm hoping that like things will neutralize or normalize this week, and we'll get back to some sense of normalcy. But we will see. Hey, Chris. Are you going to do it?
Yes, Anthony.
Are you going to do it?
I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it?
I'm not going to do it.
All right.
I'm going to do my normal one.
Do your normal one. All right. Everybody, I'm going to hand it over to Nitro.
Hey, everybody. It's What You Watching time. For our new listeners to the show, What You Watching is a segment that we do here to tell everybody about what our peepers are looking at this past week. All the shows, the YouTube channels, books, everything that's viewable with our eyes. We kind of talk about and give a quick synopsis of. And I'll start off this week with myself. I just finished watching Blue Beetle with the family. Of the DC films, it was not the worst. Not the best. It was enjoyable. The family liked it. My kids are under 10, so that's why they liked it. But I love George Lopez. George Lopez is one of the best comedians out there for me, and him in the movie was perfect. So yeah, I liked it. Again, not the worst DC film, not the best DC film, but definitely a good film. And with that, we'll pass it. Go ahead.
Hold on. So the kid that plays Blue Beetle, trying to, he was in
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai. Did you guys like Cobra Kai? No. Yeah. Okay. It felt very like CWE type of level of quality and storytelling to me. And so when I saw that this kid, and it looks like his name is, I'm going to completely butcher this, so I'm not going to try. Zolo? But anyway, but I find him to be like the least talented person in the entire Cobra Kai series. So when I saw that he is now leading a Marvel movie, I was like, really?
Now you're gonna get called out again. DC.
DC. I'm sorry. Did I say Marvel? Oh my God. DC movie.
I'm pulling your geek card for the week.
Sorry, I only have like 30 screens open of everything that's happening in the world right now. I'm trying to keep track. Okay, sorry. DC. Wow. Yes, you can hold my geek card for the week. I am sorry, everyone. So when I saw that he was leading a DC film, I was just like, it was a head scratcher to me. So performance wise, how was he? Was he believable? Was he better than Cobra Kai?
100% better than Cobra Kai.
Awesome. All right.
Definitely, I would say he's definitely growing as an actor. Cobra Kai, they started very young in the series. So definitely, like I said, better as an actor, but like movie as a whole, the DC films don't really hit the note with me, so to speak. Yeah. But like I said, movie was good, definitely watchable, put on for the kids. A lot of S-bombs in the film. Like almost every phrase that's uttered has the word in it.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah.
All right.
Cool. And it's all right. So we'll move it right over to Tim this week. Tim, what you watching?
So I'm always drawn to these YouTube makers, and this week is no different. So last week we talked about, I think it was Colin Frews, but this week I'm going to highlight a YouTuber. It's called, the channel's called Cutting Edge Engineering, and it's this guy in Australia. And again, it appeals to my maker side, but this guy does making on a kind of epic scale. He does lots of industrial type of making, so he'll fix, things like a giant bobcat or like a big earth mover, and it's pretty cool to see somebody turn a piece of raw material into a bulldozer, and you're like, that's kind of cool. Like I said, it's on an epic scale. And his videos are pretty good. They're well narrated, and he is in Australia. He does have a dog in the video. I think the dog's name is Homeless because it was homeless. But everybody always, he always has this little segment where people send the dog doggy treats. So I find it mildly entertaining, and I think it's kind of cool watching him put stuff together. So check it out if you like making stuff.
Interesting. I mean, it's hard to match the likes of the specific channel that I follow called Made by AP.
Right.
King of the crop when it comes to makers on YouTube. Okay, but that does sound interesting, especially the dog aspect of it. Maybe we should ask our listeners to send us doggy treats. Tim, what favorite brand of treats do you like?
What?
Just so the listeners
what
know.
What brand of doggy treats do I like? Any biscuit.
Any biscuit. Oh my God. Yes, please.
Thank you, Tim.
Please send your doggy treats to Tim. What's your address again?
It's care of Rise and Shine.
Beep, beep,
Rise and
beep,
Shine.
beep,
Beep, ding, 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 beep, beep.
And I'm sorry, what the name of the channel again is? Cutting
Edge Engineering. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. We'll leave a link to that in the show notes. Very cool.
Thank you, Tim. Moving on to Eric. Eric, what you watching?
Jesse and I just finished on Netflix this show called The Brother's Son. It's currently, I think, number 4 in top 10 TV watching situations. Michelle Yeoh is in it, and I think that's why a lot of people are watching it. It's a pretty fun series. There's 8 episodes. It's about this triad family from Taiwan, and all the things that are happening to them in California. So it's got a bunch of really, I think, new or not as well known actors other than Michelle Yeoh in the whole series. And I've enjoyed watching some of these actors go play off against her. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's got a lot of action, a lot of fight sequences, and they've got hints of, how Jackie Chan make fighting kind of fun, and they got a bunch of those things going on there. Surprisingly funny and violent at the same time. So I quite enjoyed it. We binge watched it this weekend.
Cool.
That's awesome. And that is very fresh. It came out, it's a 2020, January 4th was the first episode. So
yeah, it just came out this week.
Wow. How many episodes? Or is it a weekly release? Or did they release them all at one time?
No, they dropped the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's 8 episodes, each one around 15 minutes to an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Super cool. Have to add that to the list.
Nice. Cool. Keeping the segment moving right along. Right over to Anthony himself. Anthony, what you watching?
Well, Nitro, and appreciate the that you have such great taste in YouTube channels. I too am a big fan of Made by AP. You can find him on youtube.com/Made by AP. He just released a video on his studio scale X-Wing. It's fantastic. It's sure to win an Emmy. So what have I been up to? What have I been watching? Waka. So I've been reading and I've been watching. So I had started, and we talked about this a few episodes ago. I had started Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. It's the first in the trilogy that takes place in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And I had tried listening to the audiobook 3 years ago, and I found the production of the audiobook so terrible that I had to stop listening to it like 20% of the way in. I was so annoyed with it. And so a couple years go by, I was like, I feel like I need to give this a chance. It's part of the canon. I want to understand what happened in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. I got 40% of the way through the book, and then I just found myself like forcing myself to read it. And I was like, I just cannot finish this book. It is terrible. It is boring. It is complicated. And so I made it like another like 2% of the way through the book, and then I just kind of threw it away, or deleted it from my library. So I don't think the universe will just not let me read Aftermath or any of that trilogy. So if any of you listening really liked that series, please let me know why. I don't get it. I don't understand. Anyway. So I gave up on that book. I'm rambling now. And I switched over to Clive Barker's Mr. Be Gone. Big Clive Barker fan. Love all the stuff that he's done. Mr. Be Gone is pretty much, it's about a demon teenager who lives in the 7th level of hell or 8th level of hell, whatever the lowest level is. And he has an abusive demon father and a abusive demon mother. And on one night when he's trying to escape the thrash of his abusive demon father, they come upon this giant stake hanging in the middle of nowhere, and it turns out to be a trap, and you get pulled up to the surface of the planet, and now we're kind of following his adventure as a captive demon in the hands of these demon hunters. It's interesting so far. Far more entertaining than Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. Sorry, Chuck Wendig. And then movies. Last night I had a real treat. Watched the movie Cobweb with Lizzie Kaplan from what was that show? Party Down. She was, I think she kind of made her claim to fame at Party Down, and then she's done a lot of really great stuff. Usually playing the very strange mother character. She played Annie Wilkes in the TV series Castle Rock. But Cobweb, it's a thriller. It's horror. It's dark. Anthony Starr from The Boys is in it as well, who plays the creepy father. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a good scare. So that's what I've been watching and reading these days. And with that, let's get to the news. Tonight, January 7th, when we're recording this at 8:40 p.m., we're about 40 minutes into the Golden Globes. It is the kickoff of awards season. Yesterday was the Emmys. It was the, what's it called? The Creative Arts Emmys was yesterday, Saturday, January 6th. And then the actual Emmys will be a week from today. And then tonight, right now, is the Golden Globes Awards. So, guys, have you been paying attention at all to the awards season so far? Have you seen any of the films that are nominated? What are your thoughts? What are your controversies? I have a couple head scratchers for the Emmys for sure. Let's see. Best Motion Picture. I'm sorry. Let's see. So for the Golden Globes tonight, we have Best Motion Picture Drama, Anatomy of a Fall. Don't think I saw that one. Killers of the Flower Moon. Have you guys seen that one? Martin Scorsese. It's like 6 hours long. Intended to be watched in a movie theater with no intermission. Past Lives. I haven't heard of any of these films. The Zone of Interest. Maestro is on Netflix right now, I believe. And Oppenheimer. I don't know if that's streaming anywhere. Did any of you guys see Oppenheimer?
Yes.
What'd you think of that? Was the hype? Good. Yeah, was very good. The hype was real.
I also saw Past Lives, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, who's in Past Lives?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna know a lot of folks that are in it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting award season. Best musical or comedy. I've always hated that they've tied musicals and comedy together. Air, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, May December. Did you guys watch May December? That's not a comedy or a musical. It is a drama. It is an absolute drama. And that's one of the things that the Emmys too, I think Padme, what's her name? Actresses.
We're really taking your card back.
God, I am like, my brain is completely dead right now.
It's canceled at this point.
And I don't know why, but Neve Campbell's name came to my mind when I thought of this actress. It's not her. What's her name?
I will give you a hint.
Natalie Portman. Thank you. Okay. Natalie Portman, I think, is nominated for Best Actress Best Female Actor in a Comedy. Best Female Actor in a Musical or Comedy. Yes, she is, for May December. That is not a musical or comedy. It is about a...
You're in SAG, dude. Isn't there like some weird like definition of what a comedy is? Isn't that usually what happens?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. I don't think we do musical or comedy in SAG for the SAG Awards. It's I don't know the topics off the categories off the top of my head, and I've been on the nominating committee a couple of times, and I don't recall musical or comedy being one of them. I could be completely wrong, and I'm just completely blanking on it. But check out May December. Put it on in the background. It's an interesting movie, but there's nothing really funny about it. It's about there was a teacher. She was like 36 years old, and she starts a relationship with a 12-year-old student of hers, and they end up having children together and getting married. And obviously, she gets fired and goes to jail for a period of time. But this movie is based on that. I mean, there's just like, I guess you could make it a dark comedy, but like, yeah. Anyway, so these awards.
Didn't something weird happen a few years ago with? Didn't The Martian also get put in, I think, the comedy, like the musical, the same category?
Did it really?
I think it was The Martian. And everyone got real confused. And that's why I thought there was a reason why these things happened.
Oh, yeah.
But
2016. The Martian won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy because everything is a lie. That's the headline of the Verge article. Yeah.
it's
I mean,
confusing.
there were jokes in it, but I wouldn't label it a comedy.
Yeah. No. Agreed. And actually, I read the book. I haven't seen the movie.
AP, you're not pulling for Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour to win?
No. You know,
So dismissive.
no, it's not, because it's not a movie. It's a concert.
The woman drives GDP. All right,
I know she does. Look, nobody loves Taylor Swift more than this guy, but that is not a movie. These are to celebrate the creative writing and production and direction and acting.
Did you watch her movie?
I did not watch her televised concert. No, I did not see that. I absolutely did not see that. I will when it's streaming. I'm not going to go to the theater to see it.
It's streaming now.
Is it really? Where's it streaming? Disney?
I'm pretty sure it's streaming right now.
Well, I will. You know what? After we're done recording, I am going to go right over there and watch it. Well, all this talk of movies, let's dive into our conversation of the week, which is a notable absence from the nominees so far, which is Zack Snyder's space opera, Rebel Moon, which is what we're reviewing this week. So, Chris, I'm going to toss it over to you since you really sparked this one up in our last episode through your mile-long What You Watching Waka Waka list. So, Chris, what did you think of Zachary Snyder's opus?
I mean, opus? Like,
is it an opus? What's the definition of an opus? Nev Campbell.
it's definitely no Mr. Holland around here, okay? I don't even know where to start, man. Like the title, okay, Rebel Moon. It's like, how much more Star Wars are you trying to be? Like, you could have just called it Yavin. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Was this, post-pandemic, let's dig up the bottom of the pile of scripts trying to get something done? Was this already like filmed and they just released it kind of thing because they were running out of stuff post strikes? I don't know. It's I mean, look, it, like, individually I like a lot of those actors. Special effects, like all that, like specific parts of it, like I don't want to crap on any of the people that made the film, but you put it all together and I'm like, I think Tim said it best. I just lost 2 hours of my life. Right? And I think the thing that bothers me the most about it, this is the first part. Like, he was like, you did this and you made it multi-part. Like, who wants to see, like, you're gonna see the second part just to say, okay, now I've saw the whole dumpster fire. Like,
there's a director's cut too.
Is there?
So that's the cherry on the top that bothers me, is like, did he do this on purpose so we can all demand the director's cut again? Right? Like, we already crapped on DC a little bit, one by calling it Marvel.
Shh, let's underplay that one.
So yeah, we crapped on DC a little bit this episode, but like putting it all together, it's like, holy cow, man! Like, are you just trying to create the media hype that was I forgot the name of the film now, the director's cut, the Snyder cut,
not Justice
right?
League, not Justice League.
Justice
What
League.
was it? Yeah.
We're not even calling it the director's cut anymore. We're saying the Snyder cut. Ooh, that's supposed to be a lot better. Like, guys, I don't know what Warner Brothers is thinking. I don't know what Zack Snyder is thinking. Like, this was not good. So okay, let's go into why I think it was really not good. The pacing was super fast, right? This should have been episodic. This should have been a TV movie, a limited series. You should have introduced the characters a little bit more slowly. This was just like, person. Oh, look, now next person. Oh, get into a fight. Now next person. It's just formulaic and like, let's move on to the end so everyone can see the second part. I think that's what annoyed me the most about it.
So I have a few articles up here, and which kind of play into one of the things that I don't like about it is, and you touched on it. I think we've all touched on it, or will touch on it. Is how derivative it really is. Like the opening scene has a gigantic ship coming over the audience. And instead of a scroll, you have a Anthony Hopkins narrating what's happened up until this point. Like it's literally Star Wars. and then like throughout a series of events, even in our Facebook Messenger chat, they get to a cantina and it's filled with aliens. And there's a fight with a guy who doesn't like you. I don't like you either. I was like, where's the lightsaber? And is he going to get his arm cut off? No, but he does get shot and thrown out the building. Wasn't it? And then the pirate shows up. Like it's so on your nose derivative of Star Wars, of Dune, of pretty much any major epic fantasy or science fiction piece has been now crammed into this. And I heard, but I didn't do much research until preparing for this episode. This was originally pitched as a Star Wars film back in the early 2000s to Lucasfilm. And they turned it down. They turned it down shortly after the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney. It was turned down. But it was supposed to take place in the Star Wars universe. So, and as we've seen from, I don't want to turn this into a Star Wars bashing conversation, but as we've seen from some of the more recent Star Wars films over the last 7 to 10 years, they're all cookie cutter templates of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi, and so maybe this pitch inspired J.J. Abrams to just copy A New Hope and turn it into Force Awakens. I don't know, but that's what I was so distracted at how similar it was to everything that we've already seen, and there was nothing new being introduced, that I was just like, what's the point? And yes, Tim, you were right. That's the tagline of the movie. That's 2 hours of my life I'm never going to get.
My big question from the whole movie is, how can an empire that is a technically superior group and that's capable of space travel through a space vagina and that can suck memories from dead people, how can they not figure out how to grow food on a spaceship? Right? Like, I don't get it. I mean, I think everybody has said this so far, that it's just a dumpster fire, honestly. And, I thought that was Sloth in the, hey, you guys, right, in the space gay bar or wherever they were. I have no idea. And, the people in there, I mean, the swords lady, those are totally not lightsabers. Okay. I mean, it's just, I don't know where, I don't know how he,
All right, so that's
all right. I'm gonna jump in here. I mean, what are you guys expecting out of Zack Snyder? Like, this is literally Zack Snyder, and I don't know why you guys are going in thinking that you're gonna get like a masterpiece out of this entire thing, right? Like, this is a Zack Snyder movie. Like, it's come on, guys. Like, there's no need to overanalyze it. Like, it is what it is. We're just gluttons for punishment. You're gonna just go and go like, that's a Zack Snyder movie, and you're gonna go watch it. It's the same reason why we watch Man of Steel. It's the same reason we watch Justice League. It's the same reason we watch like Sucker Punch and Army of the Dead. Like, you just go in there to see a Zack Snyder movie.
But those at least had some semblance of being original and unique ideas. These were
all the comic book movies.
Those could stand on their own.
They can stand on their own, and you can watch Justice League and go, yeah, this is a good advancement of the genre. Or Sucker Punch, this is an interesting, although highly sexist and questionable advancement.
It is my favorite Zack Snyder production.
It's mine too. But
he did 300 too, right?
But he did 300. He did 300.
Yes.
He did Watchmen. Like, yes, he has a style for sure. And he has done some really interesting things in his career. And actually, my favorite is Zack Snyder is Dawn of the Dead, which I think was his first mainstream feature film director role, which is completely different than everything else that he's done since then. But yeah, my problem is not Zack Snyder's style. And did he write it as well? Who wrote it? Or did he co-write it?
I think he co-wrote it with some folks.
So it was written by Zack Snyder, Kurt Johnstad, and Shay Hatton. So the responsibility for ripping off all of these IPs lies on their shoulders. I had no problem with the effects. I had no problem with the style. You know what you're getting with a Zack Snyder. You're going to get a lot of slow motion. You're going to get a lot of people jumping up and then pausing in that jump, and then something happens, and then boom. Like, you know what you're going to get. It was just we've seen this all before. He didn't do anything new.
So I mean, to that point, again, I'm not a huge Zack Snyder defending fan. I'm just being contrarian here.
Yeah.
Other than Sucker Punch is awesome. All these movies are derivative. Like if you go back and you've actually watched, I think a lot of people talk about how this movie is actually drawing more from like Kurosawa's like Seven Samurai. Like, there's a lot more parallel compared to that too. And guess who also drew from Kurosawa? George Lucas. It's the same thing, right? And I think people like to hate Zack Snyder. And I think the interwebs like to hate Zack Snyder. But look, and I don't disagree with some of the comments that's being made so far. Like, the pacing's weird. Like, I think there could have been more character development. This probably would have been better as a TV show. But, you know, the reaction to some of these things I feel is a little too strong. I think for, oh, cool, that's a cool Netflix film. And now, I will say the dumbest thing I thought was, if Netflix is giving Zack Snyder complete creative freedom to do this thing, why is there a Snyder cut like that? and I was reading something about how, like, not only is it gonna be more, it's actually gonna be a completely different story. And I'm like, wait, what? So, I'm just confused about why that had to happen. And so, I guess, you know, I'm not gonna judge until the director's cut come out, and then see what happens. But I don't know. I didn't hate it as much as everyone else hated it to be. I just go like, ah, cool. You know, I watched it and I forgot.
AP, I think. Oh, sorry.
I do agree with Eric. Yes, it is a Snyder film, right? And I'm not expecting Academy Award or anything like that. However, right, if you're trying to say, I want to create a universe, because it's his story. I want to create a universe. I want to do something that's going to be massive IP, you know, to build it out and bring it into other mediums and stuff like that. Yeah, you gotta do better than that, dude. Like, that's his intent, you know. Like, if he had like said, hey, I'm releasing a game, and then I'm gonna release a couple books based on this game. Oh, you know what? Now I have a following. Let's make the film. Like, because it's you're taking your idea 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever, because it's two-parters. What if you're taking that and you're saying, here, world, please love this, and, you know, let me make billions of dollars off of you. It's not going to happen. Like, you got to do it the other way around. You got to build. It's not. This isn't the '70s where like all this is brand new technology and we have to create Lucasfilm to make these things because nobody else does this stuff. Like, the bar is very high in this day and age of like production and stuff like that. And we kind of saw that with Godzilla. It's like the guy's like, I want to make a story about Japan with Godzilla in it. Right, and that was indicative. He didn't say, I want to make a Godzilla film and then focus on Japan. So I think that's why we're upset. I'm not really upset, but you know what I mean? Like that's why our reactions, I think, are a little bit harsh, and so is the rest of the world's. It's like you're trying to shove this down our throats, and you want this to succeed so bad, and then you're doing these intentional things of like, I'm going to make it a 2-parter. I'm going to make it, I'm going to actually release an extended cut afterwards. And it's like, that's just, you're feeding into consumerism. You know what I mean?
Which, by the way, you raise a point, which is, well, two things come to mind, right? One is, sometimes I have to take a step back and go, we're the extreme end of some of these viewerships. Right. The fact is, this movie was like top of Netflix within like a day of this thing kind of coming out. So plenty of people watch this thing. Which actually gets to my second point was I wish there were more transparency in streaming numbers. Right. I just have no idea how this film did. Like we don't know. Like we have zero clue how this thing did. We just know like, oh, it's cool. It was on Netflix for quite a while. Anyway, that's an aside. But Chris, as you're talking about it, I'm like, I started wondering in my head of a lot of people like us are feeling like meh about it, but like, is there an audience for these kind of things out there that we just don't know about?
AP, I think some of this. Sorry, so some of this stuff I think probably goes back to the conversation that we were having on Friday at lunch was, you got to stop relying on old tricks to come up with new movies, right? There's tons of, and I don't want to bring Star Wars into this, but there's tons of stories that can be told in the Star Wars universe that you don't necessarily need to rely on Darth Vader. You don't have to go back to, we don't have to meet a scoundrel in the cantina, and we don't have to, be hunted by this, empire that's got a death ray that, can destroy all the rebels, right? We've heard that story before. And I think that's kind of part what probably makes it most disappointing is just because it's something that's unoriginal, and no wonder Disney said no to it. But stop relying on old tricks, I guess.
And I mean, I'm on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It has a 23% Rotten score, 60% audience score, and just kind of scrolling quickly through the reviews on the main page of the movie. My favorite is from the New York Post. Like the Death Star obliterating planets, Zack Snyder is out to topple countless innocent genres. While Snyder may do, this is from AV Club, while Snyder may do his best to invent a dark, gripping universe to engross viewers, Rebel Moon is a limp, soulless regurgitation of tropes stolen from much more formidable films. The one fresh review is a backwards compliment. A simple but entertaining sci-fi yarn that wears its influences on its sleeves. That's from the Willamette Week. I don't know where the Willamette Week is.
Yeah. That is about how I feel about the movie.
Oh, so are you the Willamette Week? Was that your review?
I don't know where that is, but to the writer of the Willamette Week, I agree with.
But I mean, and that was a nice way of saying pretty much everything else that these other people are saying. Yeah, it's a good-looking film. The effects are spot on. It is a Zack Snyder, what you'd expect from Zack Snyder. It's just the story. And like Tim said, and Eric, I wish you were much like in England. You weren't there at lunch. But we had a really great conversation about relying on these old tricks, and you don't need to. And there's no reason why you should. Yeah, so let's do our quick roundtable. How many disco balls are you giving this, Nitro? We got 2 balls.
One broken disco ball.
1 broken disco ball. Okay. Toots. Oh, wow. Okay. The worst. We've only done 2 review shows so far. Godzilla and this one is tanking. All right. Curler.
Wait, this is out of 2?
Out of 2 disco balls. And if it's a broken disco ball, then it's the equivalent of a rotten tomato.
I mean, I will give it a bit of a... I want to be a 75% of a broken disco ball.
All right. And I too will give it a broken disco ball. Okay. So yeah, it's a Zack Snyder movie. Too much borrowed from other IPs that distract from what it could be. And who knows, maybe episode 2 of Rebel Moon.
Well, let me ask you guys, are you guys going to watch episode 2?
No. I'm gonna let Chris watch it, and then
If my entire Netflix queue and Max queue and Amazon Prime queue and Disney Plus queue is depleted, I'll put it on the watch list.
all right. Are you going to watch it?
I'm going to watch it.
All right.
I'm going to watch it and see what happens.
Well, then we will depend on you, Eric Ho, and your opinion.
I'm just saying, let this be known. It's recorded. We're going to come back when part 2 come out and see what happens.
Part 2 comes out in April, right? Why do I feel like it's April? Rebel Moon Part 2 release date. April 19th. Yep. Okay. All right. April 19th. Maybe we do a watch party, guys. We can do a watch party, talk with our 20 fans while they watch it with us. Dig it? Dig it? All right. Okay. So that's enough about bashing Zack Snyder and Rebel Moon. Sorry, Zack Snyder. We do love you. We just don't love Rebel Moon. So before we wrap up, what are you all looking forward to this week? Eric, the one positive voice for Rebel Moon. What are you looking forward to this week?
I don't have anything crazy lined up, I don't think. The North America World Championship curling situation is coming to American Dreams in 2 weeks, so that's what I'm looking forward to. But that's in 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend.
All right. Toots, how about you? What are you up to? What are you looking forward to? What's got you all excited for the coming week?
I can't wait to go back into the city and it be semi-normal again.
So it's dying down. The tourists are dying down. The trees down. The shop windows are back to normal.
Yes, Christmas has kind of passed, so I mean it's still touristy in the city, but it's not as bad, not nearly as bad as it has been the last couple weeks.
All right. Cool. Nitro.
It is officially Girl Scout cookie season.
Ah, boy.
Oh, look it up.
And this man has a Girl Scout in his house, okay? So don't turn it into a weird, like, I tied up a Girl Scout, okay? She is my daughter. I saw Tim with his eyebrows, okay? Ding, 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 ding.
We weren't gonna call that out.
So yes, Girl Scout cookie ordering links and forms and all that stuff will be going out to everybody, so you better order up.
We will order up. Do we have to order from both of you?
Ooh,
man. All right. Do you have any
That's what we do. I'll order from Tim. Tim orders from me. You order from both of us. That's how this works.
All right. So I got a question for you, since you're pros at the Girl Scout cookies. If I order the donation one, do the kids get credit for those as the number towards their number of boxes? Okay, that's good to know.
Wait, what's a donation one? What is that?
So if you have an unhealthy relationship with snacks like I do, I choose to order donations instead of actual cookies. So they send them off to veterans homes or shelters or places, and yeah, it's the same amount of money. So I'll do like $20 worth, $25 worth, and they'll ship them to somebody. Because if I order the cookies myself, I will literally, Chris will hand me the box and I will eat the whole thing in my car. But I want to show my support, but I also don't want diabetes. So
I thought the whole point is you buy them, you don't want to eat them, so you give them to your office. That's usually that's what I mean by donation.
I work from home most of the time. So it's me. I'm giving them to me. All right, so it's good to know. Folks, if you want to donate, you can donate the cookies. It counts towards the, what is it, the quota? The quota that they have to achieve for their scout troop. Very cool.
Wait, hold up. So the cookies these days, let's get too deep into the cookies, but they are, because I know since the last time, I think there was some Girl Scout that pointed me to a website, and I could purchase it from her website. And But in terms of fulfillment, her mom gave it to me, but is this one of those situations where we can share the link with our folks on the podcast, or is it one of those things that's not kosher to do stuff like that?
I say we do it as a popularity contest. We'll put up Tim's and we'll put up Chris's. Whoever gets the most orders through their Geeky A Go-Go Girl Scout cookie link, they're going to, you guys can be the host of the show for a month. That'll be your prize.
That's a prize?
To me, it is.
How about the Girl Scout comes on as a special guest?
Oh, there we go.
No.
Okay. Hard no on that one. All right. Well, we'll figure out what the prize is.
They gotta earn their geek cards, okay?
They do. Although yours, I mean, she's joined us at, Godzilla, and we got to get your kids' toots over to the movie theater to see some geeky goodness.
I asked them if they wanted to come to see Godzilla. We were in Disney, and I was buying the tickets at the time. First, they said yes, and I bought them, and then they said no, so I had to get rid of them. So,
oh jeez,
I don't know. They're very indecisive children sometimes.
Kids, what are you gonna do? Oh, my light went out. All right, well, that's all we have this week. So make sure you're following us everywhere at Geeky A Go-Go so you can get those links to those Girl Scout cookie forms. Thank you to Chris, Eric, and Tim for your brains as always, and thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe or follow the podcast on your favorite platform, and please leave us a review. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it does help us reach more and more people. Until next time, you stay geeky, Internet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.